bicycle, bicycle, I want to ride my bicycle.
What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. Sorry, it's been about a week or so. A lot of stuff has been going on. My personal life was on vacation traveling. Back here doing what I love to do, talk about movies, TV shows, right here on our YouTube channel, so it's good to be back. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a movie I've been really excited to finally see in the big screen, a movie that's on my top 3 movies to watch this year. And let me tell you what, I was blown away by the following movie. I'm talking about the brand new flick Bohemian Rhapsody, starring Rami Malek as the late, great Freddie Mercury. So this movie has been in development. They've been trying to work on this for like over 10 years. They finally got around to it. Bryan was attached to the movie. This is like his passion project, and throughout the movie he got fired for some personal reasons, so they got Dexter Fletcher on board to direct the remaining part of the film, but Bryan Singer is still credited as the director. So this movie basically is a chronicle of the Queen years, how they formed as a band leading up until the famous, over-the-top, amazing live performance, Live Aid 1985, with Queen reuniting and just blowing the fucking roof off the arena. And there's no roof in this auditorium, and they say in the movie they're gonna punch a hole in the sky when they perform, and they absolutely did. Early on in the film, we're introduced to Freddie Mercury. He was not Freddie Mercury back then. That's a stage name that he created and eventually changed his legal name to that. I see where he's at with his family in London. He works at an airport. He's really passionate about art and music, and he writes in his little journal lyrics and things like that. He comes across Brian May and Roger Taylor playing in this other band. The lead singer quits, so it's perfect timing for Freddie Mercury. He talks to these guys, they hit it off, and essentially starts Queen. And eventually they'll pick up John Deacon as the bassist. But early on, they're trying to figure out what their sound is, what they look like, and Freddie meets a girl named Mary. Throughout the film, they gain this really great relationship, but early on she helps him do his wardrobe and make him look good for the crowd. And back then Freddie had really long hair, wore like mascara, things like that, like fur coats. And it's really cool seeing how he became the person that we know to this day, how Freddie became the flamboyant lead singer of Queen. Rami Malek just absolutely nails the character of Freddie Mercury, down to the mannerisms, his presence, his overall portrayal of this character. It wasn't like a really bad impression of Freddie Mercury. It was like he transformed into this person, and it was so believable. Like halfway through the movie, I'm like, that's Freddie Mercury. I'm like, I don't even know who Rami Malek is. So he just did a really great performance in this film, from the first act all the way up until the very end of the film. It was really top-notch acting, and I'm going to be surprised if he does not get nominated for an Oscar for Best Lead. So throughout the rest of the film, we see how Queen evolves and became this huge, massive rock band back in the 70s and 80s, touring the world and just conquering every stage that they perform on. And obviously not just Freddie Mercury being the flamboyant, amazing lead singer of this band that really carried Queen, but you had the lead guitar, Brian May, which is utterly phenomenal, one of the best guitarists in rock and roll history. He was an astrophysicist. They talk throughout the film what their jobs would have been if they didn't do music. Had Roger Taylor being a dentist, and John Deacon, I think he was like electrical engineer. So these are very intelligent dudes that created these amazing songs, and it wasn't just Freddie Mercury. It was the 3 other guys and Freddie that had this cohesiveness, this family bond that created this amazing music. And you see that throughout the film, how they created these songs, like another one, Bites of Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, just all the classics. They have like 20 hits, there's so many songs. Obviously, they didn't dive into every song they ever created, all their hits, but a lot of the bigger ones, and it was cool how they did that in the studio, and really all the effects they did, and the vocals and things like that. It was really interesting. I was not aware of how they made a lot of these songs, and they really depict that well in this film. And a really cool aspect of this film, and the reason I know Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody is because of Wayne's World. Mike Myers playing Wayne Campbell, and we have Dana Carvey playing Garth Algar, the whole famous Bohemian Rhapsody car scene that we've all probably done over the years. I did it so many times. I still do it with my wife every now and then when the song comes on the radio. But that's the reason I know Queen. I wasn't alive really when Queen was big, but from the early 90s, and they putting that song in one of the best comedies of all time, Wayne's World, it really opened my eyes to this type of music, and I fell in love with the band, and over the years collected, the records and things like that, and just became a huge fan because of Mike Myers. And it's in this movie, he plays a character. He's the head of the record company, and Queen bring in Bohemian Rhapsody, the 6-minute long song, bring it to him. He's like, this is not going to work. It's so long, and it's just not a good idea to release this as a single. He should release this other song. And it was just really great to see Mike Myers talking about Bohemian Rhapsody and how it's a crap song, and going back to Wayne's World. And so it was cool. He had a small part in the film. It wasn't like a major intricate aspect of the movie, but he had a small role, and it was really cool to see him. And with success, comes hardships and addiction and just bad people that come around you, scavengers that are really around you for the wrong reasons, for the money, for fame. And you see a lot of characters come across Freddie Mercury. There's a guy that works for him, and he, likes Freddie and kisses him and things like that. And he shows him the dark side of, fame, of partying all the time and not really caring about your loved ones, and you feel alone and just depression. And a lot of things that Freddie came across was because of these volatile, negative, toxic people that he came across over the years that were supposedly his friends, but were never there when he actually needed them. With everything that's happening in this film and everything that Freddie and Queen is coming across, Freddie is questioning his sexuality. He thinks he's bisexual, and he talks with Mary, his lifelong friend. He married her, and got engaged to her. He was in love with her, but he couldn't give her the things that she really wanted in life because deep down inside, he was gay and he couldn't be with a woman. It was really great. They had this awesome, amazing relationship. And throughout the film, that was Freddie's really only friend. And towards the end, you see a lot of things happen in the first 2 acts. What happens to Queen, what happens to Freddie, where he's at in life. He's fed up, he's tired. He's tired of writing all these songs with these 3 other guys. He wants to go on his own solo project. And doing it for all the wrong reason. He gets a nice fat paycheck, and that leads him, to recording, being more alone and being more depressed. He's doing more drugs. He's drinking all the time, smoking, and his health is deteriorating away. And he comes to terms to what he has, from all his bad decisions over the years and not being the smartest individual, when he's high and drunk and shit. But, he's going to face the consequences, and seeing that his days are coming to an end, and he has to rekindle this relationship with his family, as they call throughout the movie Queen. They're a family, they're brothers, they're tight-knit. They'll do anything for one another, even though when they don't get along and it separates them, they all come back together as a family. Rekindles that relationship of Brian May, Roger Taylor, John Deacon, and for them to come together for this great cause for Live Aid, the biggest performance ever of all these massive, huge bands like Zeppelin, Phil Collins, Queen. It was a major historical event in 1985, bringing all these bands together, bringing Queen back to reunite, to play. And the ending of the film is the reason to see this movie in the big screen, IMAX, surround sound, the Live Aid performance, the way they capture this atmosphere back in the 80s, down to the Pepsi cups in the 80s and just stuff on the stage. The crowd, obviously it's a green screen with the crowd, but it looks so fucking real. And the way they pan into the stage from the crowd, there's, 70,000 people, something insane amount of people. And Queen only played 5 songs. I think they had a 20-minute set list. And goes down as one of the best performances, live performance of all time. I've watched it on YouTube a few times. Just watching it on my computer, I couldn't imagine actually being there in the crowd and just melting my face with their performance. It was great seeing Freddie come out, the way that they did the tracking shot behind him leading out to the stage was so awesome. You could feel the goosebumps and just the adrenaline and so many emotions going on into the final scene of the movie. Lip synced and all that stuff. It actually looked like he was actually singing, but you could tell it's Freddie Mercury's voice. So I don't know how they did that, if he sang some parts and they dubbed it with Freddie's vocals. I'm not sure, but in the way that Freddie just led that crowd and sang his heart out and knew that what he has, with AIDS and the world finding out, he's going to give it his all, and it could be one of the last performances, So he gave it his all. The band was so phenomenal. Truly great performance, and the way they depicted this on film for this movie was the best part of the flick. So with that being said, I had an absolute blast with Bohemian Rhapsody. I was really highly anticipating this flick. One of the top 3 movies I wanted to see this year, and it surpassed all of my expectations. A film you must see in the movie theater to experience the life of Queen, the vocals of Freddie Mercury, and just experience that Live Aid performance at the very end of the movie is well worth the admission to the theater. Across the board, all the performances, again, Rami Malek, I'm going to be very surprised if he does not get nominated for an Oscar. The remaining actors, playing Brian May, Roger Taylor, John Deacon, they were phenomenal. And Lucy Boynton played Mary, the lifelong partner of Freddie Mercury, best friend there through the thick and thin. A really great relationship in this movie, and seeing how their the relationship evolved over the years and how she was there until the very end for Freddie. And I'm going to say I'm not a huge fan of Bryan Singer. He botched a lot of the X-Men movies. Not a huge fan of his, so it's maybe a good reason he got fired from this project and they got another director. I'm not sure how much of the movie is Bryan Singer's, but you know, the overall product I really appreciated. This is a movie, if you're not a fan of Queen, if you're a fan of Queen, you must see just for Rami Malek's performance. You know, of this biopic of Freddie Mercury and Queen and how they became this huge, massive rock band and everything they came across in their short time together. Overall, I'm going to give Bohemian Rhapsody a 4.5 out of 5 Queen hair pieces. Let's go! So have you guys seen Bohemian Rhapsody? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What did you think of Rami Malek's performance as Freddie Mercury? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from the Live Aid performance in 1985. Freddie, you're doing a fucking hell of a job up there, mate. Until next time, cheers!